All right, hello 551 class. One of your classmates had asked if we could go over some questions on sensitivity, specificity, positive predictive value, and negative predictive value. So I'm going to go through questions 18 and 19 from your probability problem set. First, I'll just say that sensitivity and specificity are tests of how well a screening or diagnostic test is performing. And positive predictive value and negative predictive value have a clinical application. So before I get started, and this is kind of what I always do with problems I work out, is I write out the relevant formulas and I'll write out my 2x2 table. So here's my 2x2. And then the formulas. Sensitivity is the probability of testing positive given you have the disease, which is cell A over A plus B. Specificity is the probability of testing negative given you don't have the disease, cell D over C plus D. Positive predictive value is the probability of having the disease given that you test positive for the disease, cell A over A plus C. And negative predictive value is the probability of not having the disease given that you test negative. And that's cell D over B plus D. So question 18 reads, a researcher selected 260 subjects with a known breast cancer and 240 without breast cancer to test a new screening tool. And what that tells us is this is not a random sample. Therefore, to get positive predictive value and negative predictive value, we would need to know the prevalence of disease, and we were not provided that. So for this question, we cannot calculate positive predictive value or negative predictive value using Bayes' theorem or these formulas up here. So we'll just be calculating sensitivity and specificity. So our 2x2 for this question would look like this. And our sensitivity would be 250 divided by A plus B, or this margin over here, 260. And that would give us a sensitivity of 0.96. Specificity would be equal to 190 over C plus D, which is this margin, 240. And that would give us a specificity of 0.79. And that's it for question 18. For question 19, the data are provided for the results from a screening test for HIV that was performed on a group of 100,000 people. Therefore, there was no researcher selecting this population, so it's a random sample, and we can use these formulas up here for positive predictive value and negative predictive value. So I'll make our 2x2 for this question. Okay. And our sensitivity would be equal to 475 divided by this margin, so 500, which gives us a sensitivity of 0.95. And our specificity would be cell D, 94,525 over this margin, which would be 99,500. And this also gives us a result of 0.95. And then our positive predictive value is cell A, 475, over A plus C, so it would be this margin. And that gives us a result of 0.09, which is a low positive predictive value. And our negative predictive value would be cell D over the margin B plus D, so this one here. And that gives us a negative predictive value of 0.99. And that is all for those two questions. Thanks.